This is a system designed for live improvisation on the Expressive E Osmose synthesizer and Moog Matriarch synthesizer. I'm using the DAW Logic Pro X on my MacBook Pro to run drum loops underneath my improvisation. Both synthesizers are connected to the Genelec speakers via the Tascam Model 16 mixer and via stereo in and out 1/4 inch TRS jack cables. The Matriarch is in channels 3 and 4 and the Osmose is in channels 5 and 6. My MacBook Pro is also connected to the mixer in channels 1 and 2 via a stereo in and out TRS cable. On Logic, I'm using a drum preset, which is Magnus Big Room EDM, which I'll be using, and using this loop feature to improvise on top of. On the Matriarch, I'll be specifically exploiting its warm analog qualities, its 2 filters in stereo by adjusting the knobs as I'm playing, and its 4 oscillators. I'll also be using gliding, pitch bending features, and its drone VCA mode. On the Osmose, I'll be exploiting its expressivity by pitch bending, which is set to 2 semitones, pressure gliding, using its velocity sensitivity and aftertouch, and its polyphonic abilities. I'll be predominantly using its analog scream preset. And I'll be using different octaves as I improvise. Since macros are sent to these different levels, which I might change as I go through. Bending is set to 2ST, so this means that it will just move by a tone. My idea is to combine features unique to the Matriarch and the Osmose synthesizer to create a unique and layered analog sound. I chose these instruments as I'm a pianist and can articulate myself well on keyboard instruments. I'm also familiar with Logic Pro X. I was originally improvising just on the Osmose, but decided to incorporate the Matriarch as I wanted to explore the sonic possibilities of combining them. It also gives me more sonic flexibility and allows me to create a bigger sound. I've used the drum machine loop in Logic Pro X as I wanted to create something I could use when writing my own pop songs and wanted to demonstrate the layering possibilities of including a DAW in my system. You could also take this setup a step further and use the Tascam as an audio interface to record your improvisation or record more loops from the Osmose and Matriarch to improvise live. Firstly, I love the setup and sound I've created here and could have hours of fun playing with different sounds and creating an epic loop track to improvise on top of. The most significant affordance of this setup are the vast sonic possibilities it offers when performing live. Both the Matriarch and the Osmose are expansive synthesizers, and combining them opens up even more unique opportunities. Also, I realised when experimenting with playing them together that their very different strengths eliminates the other's weaknesses, such as a lack of MPE on the Matriarch and the Matriarch's easy and immediate hands-on control without screens. Thirdly, the Tascam Model 16 can also act as an audio interface to record my live improvisation into Logic, meaning I can create more loops using the instruments and be able to experiment post-production. And finally, the setup is really easy to do. It's just connecting everything into the mixer and the mixer into the speakers. A significant limitation of this setup is the lack of a live looping feature on Logic Pro X, which other workstations such as Ableton have. This would allow me to record and play back audio in real time. This would make a more interesting live performance and would allow me to experiment more with different sounds. The reason I'm using an older version of Logic Pro X is that it can't update on this version of my Mac, which also can't update, as there's not enough space. I wanted to stick with Logic rather than using another DAW such as Ableton Live because I prefer using Logic in my own music making. I'm most familiar with it, and you can't save or export files on the free versions of Ableton, and I've purchased Logic Pro X. I hope to be able to upgrade it soon and make use of this feature to improve the setup. Another downside to this setup is that it's expensive. However, this means that the instruments are of high quality and a better quality sound will be achieved. Furthermore, cheaper mixers, laptops and DAWs can be substituted in this setup, including free trial versions of Reaper, Cubase or Ableton. These also don't require an Apple device to function, which are often more expensive. And also you can get much cheaper mixers such as a Yamaha MG10 10-channel mixer for roughly £170. Another limitation is that not all workstations are MPE compatible, meaning they can't capture expressive MIDI data such as pitch bends and aftertouch. However, most DAWs have now been updated to capture this, such as Logic, Reaper, Ableton Live and Cubase. Also, with an audio interface, which the Tascam Model 16 can act as, these expressions can be captured on all workstations via audio recording rather than MIDI. Also, switching between presets on the Osmose takes ages as it can't store them. You have to turn a knob and scroll through all the presets. Whereas on some other synthesizers, such as the Yamaha Montage MODX series, have a numeric keypad that lets you enter a patch number directly, so you can access other presets quicker rather than scrolling through them all. Not being able to quickly change between different presets isn't great for a live improvisation, but with the Osmose you can easily access different qualities of sound when performing live through how you press the key, which most other synthesizers can't do. Overall, there's not much this system can't do or be worked around. The live looping is still possible with this setup with the latest versions of Logic and Mac, and this combination of instruments open up vast sonic and technological possibilities. Thank you for watching and have a great day.